Mr. Chairman of this auspicious occasion, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on existing protocol. I will quickly run through our own activity and scorecard. Like the MC said, my name is Ebiekure Eradiri. I am the Director General for the Bayelsa State Microfinance and Enterprise Development Agency. I would want to, as a preamble, express some form of thanks. We are indeed thankful to His Excellency Governor Dickson firstly for this kind of event. We also appreciate the Honorable Commissioner for Information because this is a novel initiative. This initiative for interministerial briefs over scorecard. It helps to showcase the investment on the micro, small, and medium enterprise subsector. And it as well brings to light the impact on society. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin with what we have on the screen. The restoration government at stakes. The development of SMEs is a critical cornerstone of our restoration government. That is why we say we are broadening the base of our economy. Quote and unquote, Dickson, Governor of Bayelsa State. The Bayelsa State Microfinance and Enterprise Development Agency, BYMEDA, in focus. Establishment of BYMEDA. The Bayelsa State Microfinance and Enterprise Development Agency is a quasi-governmental organization, which is an organization that is of government, but we are in the business of business. So we are not strictly government, we are not restricted to government, we are doing business with people that are in business. The agency was established by Bayelsa State Microfinance and Enterprise Development Law on October 30, 2014. Sorry about that. Our mission: to improve the entrepreneurial spirit, reduce poverty, and bridge the socio-economic gap in the state. Our vision: to provide easy credit facilities and non-financial services to micro, small, and medium enterprises and vulnerable groups in Bayelsa State, Nigeria. Basically, is to unleash the entrepreneurial spirit, transformation in the MSME subsector of Bayelsa State, a 6-year restoration experience. February 14, 2012 heralded the restoration administration of His Excellency Honorable Dickson, Governor of Bayelsa State of Nigeria. The restoration promise: I will not play politics with education, economy, health, and development of our people. Situational analysis and action plan. We want to clearly say that we hit the ground running. The statistical records of MSME subsector of the state was poor, owing to neglect and misplaced priority of the engine room of growth in any economy. Our action plan after due assessment was to execute an exercise for SME data collation and database creation statewide, so as to ascertain their needs and plan for appropriate support. We followed that by the convocation of the 2013 SME Summit with a view of bridging the gap with stakeholders and rebuilding their confidence in government, amongst other attendant benefits. Highlights and benefits. Bayelsa State, during that event, the Bayelsa State SME Restoration Roadmap was unveiled. The governor unveiled this in the year 2013, and we have followed through. It's the blueprint, and it is what the MSME subsector has followed through from 2013 up till today. The Bayelsa State SME Development Fund was launched. You can remember in 2013, the governor kickstarted that fund with 250 million. During that event, we ensured that there was a program for entrepreneurial capacity building workshop, which was duly carried out in partnership with the Federal University of Ebiekure Enterprise and Skill Development Unit. And all those participants, about 500 or thereabout, that were part of that event, were issued certificates from the Federal University of Ebiekure. So whether you've gone to school or not, as long as you were given that ECB, you had a certificate endorsed by the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Tuaken. There was also an opportunity fair and beehive of trade, and what this means for us is that for every event when there's a bit of trade fair, there's buy and sell, and so economies are being improved, there's network, there's market access. We've created a platform for market. There was general awareness during that period because most people had said, ab initio, they didn't know what SMEs was. They don't know the meaning of SME. In fact, there was a press lady that spoke to me and said it was the first time she had to know that SME meant small and medium enterprises. So there was general awareness, there was boost of trade, there was market access, there was linkages, network, and then access to finance, because there were finance institutions present to support. Collaborations and partnerships. Several collaborations, partnerships were reached, especially for capacity building. The Enterprise Development Center, EDC of Lagos Business School, we got into a partnership with them. The CBN South-South EDC Calabar, we got into partnership with them, for which, when we say we got into partnerships, training, which is a continuous process. We exposed our people to training from these institutions that are renowned for capacity building. The CBN, and then we were able to win over the CBN South-South EDC Outreach Center, which means that people from Delta, because when you say South Side, talking about Edo, Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom. And so with the EDC South-South Center outreach in Bayelsa, it meant, and it still means, that if you cannot make 5 to 6 hours to Calabar from maybe Delta, you can come and partake in that kind of training facility here in Bayelsa. And then if you cannot make about 3-4 hours to Calabar from Port Harcourt, 1 hour from Port Harcourt to Bayelsa, you can do that. And you know what that means? It means if these people are coming to learn and be part of trainings here, they are going to spend their money in our own economy. Our hotels will boom, our transport system will have a boost, and then it means that we are attracting funding to this. That facility is domesticated or housed under the, well, I call it proposed, Bayelsa State Institute for Entrepreneurship. We also we opened up international partnerships with the World Association for Small and Medium Enterprises. We opened up relationship and partnership with the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management in Germany. We indeed are getting the best to work with us. Other gains. Between 2013 and today, in 2013, the inauguration of the State SME Council, November 2013, by Dr. Aganga, who was the former Honorable Minister, Trade, Industry and Investment. We were one of the few states that complied with the federal government directive for the State SME Council. The launch of the NEDEP, which is a national development, enterprise development policy, and the OLOP, which is one local government, one project. These are federal government programs that were under the erstwhile administration of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. And of course, when we have our own person in the forefront, when they talk about policies, we must see that we key in quickly. So we're one of the few states that keyed into that program. We have facilitated access to SME finance with development finance institution. Example, the Central Bank of Nigeria Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Funds. That's a 220 billion naira fund put together under the express order of the former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and the Bank of Industry Fund between Bank of Industry and Bayelsa State Government. These are two independent funds to the tune of 4 billion naira. 2 billion naira with the Bank of Industry, for which the state has fully accessed, and 2 billion naira with the Bank of Industry, for which we have opened up the channels, we have signed, and part payment has been released from Bayelsa State Government. Bayelsa State Government has met partly its obligation to that transaction. We've opened up global channels and corridors for micro, small, and medium enterprise funding from international donor agencies as the European Union, African Guarantee Funds, etc., etc. We promoted the creation of the Zoembe Microfinance Bank with branches across all local governments to assist financial inclusion, deepen access to finance, and assist inclusive growth. We also, in 2013, opened up a Pakistani Bayelsa business corridor, for which business relations, we believe, has continued between Pakistan and Bayelsa, Nigeria. Other gains are, we have this administration, by its being prudent, has encouraged, and I tell you, has inculcated the repayment culture in Bayelsa, upon Bayelsa entrepreneurs. Initiatives. These are, we've got flagship initiatives, we call them flagship initiatives. Between 2015 and now, we have carried out weekly radio programs. We had a specific design program called SME Moments. SME Moments was a program that was running, I think, every Wednesday. And then this was a bridge, information to the people regularly every week. You know, a solution, more like an SME solution center. So we were having this two-way communication. So that program was sustained, but you know, when there was this issue of recession, I think it affected some of the production development. We also have the Restoration SME Dialogue Series. This is a new design initiative, which is expected. The main objective is to analyze economic outlook and provide SME solutions to Bayelsa entrepreneurs, bridging the gap. Now, this is a direct strategy. You know, I said to you that the other one, the radio one, was more like it's radio. But now we're having a direct strategy of direct engagement, and one of the facilities that we are using to enjoy that is the facility owned by our chairman. We do this at the Azaiki Public Library. Thank you, sir. The launch of the Ideas Bank. This is another novel initiative. The Ideas Bank was developed for a two-way reasoning. One, some people have ideas, they don't have money. Some people have money, they don't have ideas. So we made sure that we distributed Idea Bank boxes to specific locations. And then we try to see that people throw in your ideas, and each idea you throw in, people can fine-tune it and match it with the required fund with our development finance institutions that are partnering with us. We have the Proudly Bayelsa SME brand line. This brand line has been on since 2013. It might interest you to know that part of the brand lines, like what I'm wearing, I've got my studs are Bayelsans, Proudly Bayelsans, my cufflinks are Bayelsans, my shirts and trousers, and even my shoes are Proudly Bayelsans. My perfume is made by Bayelsan Blessings. It's called Blessings Perfume. That perfume is even found in Harrods, one of the most expensive shops in London, the UK. All these are Bayelsa products made by Bayelsans, and we are proud of it. We are marketing them and exposing them to international corridors. Paga mobile system. This is a Paga system we are trying to introduce. It's an e-transact technology-based system. Some people, it will help deepen access to finance. Yes, we have introduced the Ebiekure Microfinance Bank in all the local governments, but what about the hinterlands? Those interior villages, because the local government headquarters is where you have the Ebiekure Microfinance Bank. We've tried, but we need to deepen this access to finance and help for inclusive growth. And then we have our own signature project, which is the Project 10 Plus SME Challenge. And Project 10 SME Challenge is for 30. We're trying to get our development finance institution to support 10 plus businesses. And we hope and believe that with that support, especially with our development partner, Mr. Sukuma, please can you stand up? Sukuma is Bank of Industry. If they give us that support, we've taken them around, they've seen, can we have a round of applause for them, please? Because if they give us that support, we've taken them around, they've seen the businesses, if they support them as we have discussed, please sit down. We hope that by the year 2020, 30,000 jobs would have been generated. Our scorecard. I'll quickly run through this. We have sent people for training. 120 youths have gone to the South ETC in Calabar. We have disbursed 250 million to women cooperatives. We have also disbursed 20 million to APA Artisan women cooperatives under the empowerment program. This was all done between 2013 and 2014. I'm counting. We have also released 30 million to empowerment of Bayelsa women operating in Western Nigeria. The governor is so sensitive to support our people wherever they are, and this is one scheme. Yes, Ebiekure Microfinance Banks have talked about it. We successfully accessed and disbursed 2 billion CBN MSM ETF, I said it, and we received it in 3 tranches. The first one we got in year 2015. The second one we applied firstly in 2014, but we got the first tranche February 4, 2015. and we didn't get another one until 2016, and then in 2017 we got the balance. So the point is, as we speak, all the stories and rumors, you now have to get it straight here. 2 billion naira has just been concluded by the state, accessing the fund sometime last year. This needs to be told because there were stories before now that the governor used the money used it for election in 2015. There were stories that even I took the 2 billion naira, put it in my pocket, and I traveled abroad, relocated. So all kinds of stories. But the truth, we're telling you that 2 billion naira has been accessed, and this has helped us to create over 7,000 direct and indirect jobs. We talked about Ideas Bank. Like I said, the idea is to collate business ideas, analyze them, provide support, match the support for SMEs. We've carried out field visits to SMEs in the state that benefited from the scheme. For everybody that received money from us or from our platform, we ensure a close monitoring and evaluation. So we have a team that monitors. We also have a team that recovers. We have a recovery team. So you have the M&E team monitoring, and you also have the recovery team. I join each of the teams at various times when they are going out to do M&E. So some of the pictures you see here showcases that. Yes, His Excellency the Deputy Governor, representing the governor, led the delegation where Made in Bayelsa products were showcased to the Honorable Minister of Trade. This was the Africa SME Expo in 2017. Like I said, the picture we should be having here, the next picture you should be having, should be the picture for between Bank of Industry and Bayelsa State Government Fund. 1 billion naira is a matching fund. The 2 billion naira scheme is a matching fund. The state government provides 1 billion and the Bank of Industry matches that 1 billion. So any amount you release to Bank of Industry, instantly they match it. As I speak to you, we have released 250 million to Bank of Industry and they have indeed matched it. So where we are on the project with them is to release the names for them to credit the people. But there's a process. Oh well, the next slide will talk about Bayelsa State is being nominated to host All Africa Association for SME Roundtable 2018. Well, this is an event that is coming up in a time not far from now. The next slide you have the agency's performance recognized at the continental level, and its Director General has been listed as the Hive Africa Global Leader. Well, there's a certification that tells that story. This was October 2017. And because God has been faithful to this administration, the restoration administration has been progressing. We are local, but our impact is felt globally. By Bayelsa State Government, through the agency called BIMIDA, a March winner of the 2017 World SME Excellence Award at the 21st International Conference on Small and Medium Enterprises in New Delhi, India. These are on-the-spot assessment visits, because when we tell our story, somebody needs to double-check it. And the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Orientation, led by Honorable Maxine, Daniel Muriso Maxine, joined us to do on-the-spot assessment for those stories we talk about. We're giving people funding. Are they real people? And I'm sure the story is very clear. It's tangible. Thank you, Honorable Commissioner, for joining us. Facts and figures. This is one thing about the scorecard that everybody is interested about because this is money. Storyline. In 2013, there was a financial release of 250 million to women. Like I said, 220 million to PRTSI Women Development in 2013. Financial release of 30 million to Nigeria Delta Women in 2013. Financial release of 100 million to 100 faith-based entrepreneurs in 2015. Financial release of 2 billion from the CBN MSMETF to entrepreneurs in Bayelsa State. That is between 2015 and 2017, we have released that 2 billion. It's gone. People, Bayelsans, have accessed it, and funny enough, perhaps if this did not come when it came between 2015 and 2017, the high period of recession, we don't know what it would have been. So that money came in timely, and I'm sure that it improved a lot of entrepreneurs during the period. We have the ongoing preparation to release another 2 billion from the Bank of Industry. And all these things we've done, anytime money is presented to us, it goes through a bank. So we have indirect impact on about 20 deposit money banks in Ebiekure, Bayelsa. Direct and indirect jobs generated as of today. We can tell you that 15,000 jobs have been created, direct and indirect, by this fund. I tell you, I can explain it. If you have 2 billion naira, people access the money. Every fund released to support a business creates a minimum of 2 jobs, whether you like it or not. So if you took the money, the government accessed the fund, gave it to real people. Some people are startups, some people are existing. Now for every person that is doing business, if I give you extra money, you have no choice than to perhaps employ 1 person. This is true. And so it's a clear extrapolation. It can be defended anytime. So if we have accessed the money we are giving to real Bayelsans, your own duty, your own job is to ensure that you create those jobs. And then for everybody that accessed money, there is a business plan. You must put your business plan together, and your business plan talks about all this, because we want to see the cardinal keys. We want to see you create wealth for yourself. We want to see you generate employment, and we want to see on that paper that the fund given to you is recoverable. This is our standard. So when you write it on your paper and you bring it to us and we give you the money, that's what it is, signed, sealed and delivered. To say the money cannot go around to everybody at the same time. So there's a revolving scheme, and we are hoping that this will go through. And with the new developments and efforts we're having with Bank of Industry for another 2 billion, perhaps phase-wise, batch-wise, your turn will come if you have not accessed. But all the same, if you have borrowed money in the past, that's a caveat, and you've not repaid, our system will fish you out, and then you will be disqualified from accessing. Allocation of, well, the money came, we're not a bank, so we have 5 participating finance institutions that work with us. We have the Bayelsa State Cooperative Financing Agency. Anybody that's a cooperative usually goes through that bank. 94 cooperatives pass through that. We have the Ebiekure Microfinance Bank. They gave to 62 MSMEs, 278 million they took. Christabel Microfinance Bank took 146.3 million and gave to 55 MSMEs. Non-Microfinance Bank took 155.5 million, they gave to 206 MSMEs. Verifiable. And then lastly, Ebiekure Microfinance Bank, which is our state bank. They got 1,122,200,000, and they have given 534 and counting persons, institutions, MSMEs. The future outlook. The mobile money pager systems will help us in loan recovery. It will help us deepen finance, because some people cannot come out of maybe Akasa and all those interior places, and then if you have Sangana and all those places, Kuluama, if you have a mobile system, which is what is being done anyway, it helps the ease of people have money, you pay it quickly so that you don't spend it for other purposes. And so it is a recoverable approach. That's the technology we want to use, and it will help employ. That's another generation too, employment generation too, because people that must operate that system must be employed to do that. So it's another thing that is coming in the nearest future. I said about the Project 10 Plus SME Challenge to generate 30,000 jobs by the year 2020. If our structure is followed through, I believe this is doable and is achievable. The Bayelsa SME Online Service Platform. This is another thing coming in the coming days. We want our businesses to be visible. When somebody clicks on the computer, you should be able to see Bayelsa business. If you are doing shoes, like this beautiful shoe I'm wearing, it's done by a Bayelsa. You should be able to see it on the net. You know, these are the things we want to create. Somebody in India, somebody in US, somebody in Germany can, by the click of a button, do business with you. Only yesterday I was doing business with somebody in Texas. I got into the platform, I saw what they wanted, they knew what I wanted, and we did the exchange. Next thing, they're going to ship what I want, and I will have it here. So that is what we want to do. International global exposures. We work towards attaining the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Goals 1, 8, and 9 are strictly goals that concern us. Empowerment, economy, and all that. We recognize that we have said all that stories in the past. We are today the preferred host of the African continent for the 2018 Africa SME Roundtable Forum in Engr City from March 1 to 3, 2018, where African heads of government, other policy decision makers in Africa, amongst SME finance institutions, angel investors, venture capitalists, will chart the way forward for MSME development in Africa. Conclusion, I am concluding. Because I must talk. We are here to talk the talk, so we'll tell you the story. Conclusion. The restoration agenda has really rejuvenated the entrepreneurial development framework in the state. Many jobs have been generated in the state. Wealth have been created by citizens who got engaged through the agency's access fund. Going forward, the agency has planned to raise the entrepreneurial spirit and SMEs to the next level. Interestingly, we are changing our narrative in line with Governor Dickson's vision of taking Bayelsa to the world and bringing the world to Bayelsa. Our voice is respected. We are now invited as speakers, as panelists to international SME and economic engagement. For instance, SME and Banking Africa, Rwanda. I was there as a speaker. The Africa Association for Development Finance Institutions CEOs Forum in South Africa. I was there with BDIC, Mr. Tam Alazia. The America-Nigeria Business Forum, Atlanta, Georgia. I gave a paper on that event. The SMA Expo Lagos, Nigeria, of course, His Excellency Deputy Governor led that delegation. And the La Vida SME Fair, Port Harcourt, we told our story. These are just a few to mention. For us in Bayelsa, we crave for an SME ecosystem of economic prosperity and growth using our cardinal keys of wealth creation, job generation, and fund recovery. Our approach has been bottom of pyramid and plucking low-hanging fruits. Our women are pride. The administration is very sensitive to women enterprise development, and this has been demonstrated severally in its loans and grant releases. Our belief lies in the acceptable global fact. Support a woman and she takes care of 5 persons, who will also impact on 10 persons, which will in turn impact society in 10 years to a volume of 500 million persons of the population. On a lighter note, but true, everyone is born of a woman. And indeed, global statistics show that they are better managers of funds and they actually repay their loans. Let's have a round of applause for the women, please. The present development, and I think we will close on that. What gets measured gets growth. And so we are not resting on our oars. We really look forward to world-class ratings of BIMEDA, by international rating agencies, to enable us easily progress with the European Union donor funds for SMEs. And also an improvement on the global index, the World Global Index, and the ease of doing business scale. This scorecard is not limited to the above mentioned alone, as our task is work in progress, but we only attempted to showcase the huge effort of the Governor Henry Dickson-led government in the MSME subsector with the aim of empowering the teeming masses and to create wealth to boost overall economy of the state. And what we showcased here really are snippets of the Bayelsa State Government's Marshall Plan for SME to engender prosperity in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and Federal Government of Nigeria's Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe there's a map. Bayelsa is on the global map. If you look at the map, you see there, you see different countries. You see Russia, you see Israel, you see South Korea, you see Colombo, Sri Lanka, USA. And then number 20 you see there is Ebiekure City, Bayelsa. Please give a round of applause to Bayelsa. Bayelsa State Government promoted that program, and so we're on the world map for hosting an international event. And lastly, oh, that looks like me there. I was telling the story. The story I was telling, like I want to say, is the story changing the narrative according our SME story, telling the story according to the gospel of Governor Dickson. Let's give Governor Dickson a round of applause, please. And as I close, at BIMEDA, we're happy to serve. When you think BIMEDA, we create possibilities, we create provisions, we create prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. God bless Bayelsa State of Nigeria, and God bless Governor Dickson. Thank you.